In 2023, my gaming experience underwent a significant shift compared to previous years. Rather than trying to play as many games as possible, I chose to focus on titles that genuinely interested me, savoring the experience rather than rushing through. This change brought a newfound enjoyment to my gaming hours, and I plan to continue this approach, especially considering my likely decreasing time for games in the future. Despite that, I still managed to play a total of 55 games in 2023. One notable accomplishment was finally completing Deus Ex, a game I had initially found confusing in 2018. This time around, I was determined to see it through to the end. I enjoyed the freedom the game gave me, allowing for multiple approaches at all times, with so many things to discover in the world. I know that I missed so much, which definitely warrants a second playthrough if I want to see it all. Another discovery was the original System Shock. Contrary to my initial expectations based on footage, I found myself immersed in the game after just an hour of play, as I filled in the missing details in my head. However, while it was interesting to experience this influential classic, the absence of a guide made it way too frustrating to play, preventing it from becoming an enjoyable gaming experience. I also decided to play Dark Souls 2 on the original PlayStation 3 and get the Platinum Trophy, which means I now have Platinum Trophies for all of Miyazaki's games on both PS3 and PS4, including Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 2 on PlayStation 3, and Dark Souls 2 Scholars of the First Sin, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls Remastered and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice on PlayStation 4. Once I get a PlayStation 5, I will make sure to add the Demon's Souls remake and Elden Ring to that list. I'm waiting for a PlayStation 5 Pro, which will hopefully be released in 2024. In 2023, I explored smaller, peaceful games like Monument Valley 1 and 2, Wingspan and Dwarf Romantic, providing enjoyable and relaxing breaks. I discovered Wingspan on Steam, a board game that I fell in love with since it revolves around birds. And I loved it so much that I also decided to get the physical version. A game that is totally the opposite is Ocho, a game I discovered thanks to Reykjavik. This game is inspired by Hotline Miami, a game that I enjoyed immensely, and Ocho is no exception as it has an addictive gameplay loop with an excellent soundtrack. Before delving into my top 10 games I played this year, I want to shine a spotlight on The Last Guardian. Despite initial frustrations with framerate drops, a troublesome camera, awkward platforming sections and Trico's disobedience, a touching moment near the game's conclusion highlighted the emotional bond I had formed with this in-game creature, making it feel like I was going on an adventure with a real-life pet. Team Ico did an excellent job making Trico feel lifelike, and the emotional impact of saying goodbye left me in tears. Few games have elicited such a strong emotional response, making The Last Guardian one of the most memorable gaming experiences I've ever had. While not perfect, the game offers a unique emotional journey that only gaming can deliver, actively involving players in the formation of a profound bond with Trico. If you are looking for an emotional journey, look no further than The Last Guardian. Now, with that out of the way, it is time to reveal the game that ended up at number 10 this year. Undoubtedly, one of the most distinctive platformers I've ever experienced is Psychonauts. This game boasts an exceptionally unique premise, immersing players in the intricacies of delving into the minds of individuals to assist them with their personal struggles. The execution of this concept is nothing short of excellent, showcasing a profound dedication to detail and a genuine passion from the developers to create a truly believable world. Thanks to the unique art style, the game has not only stood the test of time visually, but also story-wise, as I had a blast playing this game from start to finish, resulting in a memorable gaming experience that I will continue to look back on fondly, even if there are some frustrating platforming sections throughout the game. One of the most relaxing games I played in 2023 was MiniMotorways. This game effortlessly strikes a balance between both being accessible for casual enjoyment and challenging enough to fuel the desire for achieving high scores, a pursuit that always felt attainable, even for someone like me who doesn't consider themselves a MiniMotorways pro. This game is perfect for a quick, rejuvenating break, allowing you to indulge in just one match a day. It's a title I will heartily recommend to anyone, whether you're a seasoned gamer or someone venturing into the world of video games for the first time. The ingenious fusion of a deck-building card game with the elements of a roguelite is what makes Despire such a captivating experience. The sheer enjoyment I derived from meticulously crafting the perfect deck in each run was unparalleled, achieving the satisfaction of assembling an unbeatable deck complete with all the desired cards, made every endeavor incredibly gratifying and left me eager for another playthrough. The fact that you unlock new cards by obtaining points that you can now use during future runs makes every run feel meaningful, even if you end up failing somewhere down the line. As someone who always finds deck building card games immensely appealing and addictive, Despire is no exception. While I don't see myself playing this all that much in the future, the time I've invested in this game has been nothing short of extraordinary, earning its well-deserved spot on my list for this year. In 2023, I delved into a modern iteration of the Ninja Gaiden series for the first time. Initially, grappling with the combat mechanics and mastering the diverse moves proved to be a learning curve, but once I did, the game became an immensely enjoyable experience. While I'm not a big fan of the backtracking, the game's combat system is undeniably addictive, offering a sense of accomplishment when emerging unscathed from an intense enemy encounter. It's this aspect that truly defines the game, overshadowing the forgettable storyline and uninteresting characters, so that should be a clear indication of just how amazing the combat is, as without it, the game would have never ended up in the top 10. A game that does have memorable and likable characters is Devil May Cry 4, with Dante in particular constantly stealing the spotlight in every cutscene. While it's evident that the game didn't benefit from the same extensive development time and refinement as its predecessor Devil May Cry 3, it remains an enjoyable experience with a phenomenal soundtrack that motivates me to strive for that sweet triple S rank in combat. The game just has so many combos and abilities for you to utilize that gives the game a lot of depth, and thus you can sink hundreds of hours into this game to master its mechanics. The dedication of the developers to refine these mechanics is what I appreciate most about this game, even when the game feels somewhat rushed. The excellent combat makes it a joy to play through, making it the most engaging and fun combat out of the Devil May Cry games up to this point. And I can't wait to play DMC 5 to experience the best of the best. Sonic Mania not only meets but exceeds all my expectations for a Sonic game. The visuals are nothing short of phenomenal, capturing the beloved pixelated art style reminiscent of classic Sonic games that I adore. There are lots of deviating paths, giving the game a lot of replay value, and unlike the other classic Sonic games, Mania maintains an unwavering level of quality throughout, ensuring constantly enjoyable gameplay and captivating levels. The accompanying soundtrack is not only memorable, but also pumps action into every moment, compelling me to speed through tracks as fast as possible. And the best of all is that there are more modes aside from the standard adventure mode, allowing you to enjoy the gameplay of Mania with up to 4 friends. And this game is so enjoyable to play that it even turned one of my friends into a Sonic fan, just by his experience with Mania alone. Although the prospect of a sequel remains uncertain, I can't help but hope for one, as this is in my opinion the best Sonic experience currently available. For the third installment in the Max Payne franchise, Rockstar took over developing duties and delivered one of the most finely crafted third-person shooters in the market. Even though the plot itself is nothing too special, the way Max reacts to the things happening to him is extremely entertaining to watch. His responses serve as both a compelling motivator and a valid excuse to dispatch enemies in visceral and gory ways, maintaining a consistently engaging experience that never loses its allure. I had already played this game on my Xbox 360 in 2018, but due to a lot of glitches, game crashes and precise aiming feeling awkward and unreliable, I just didn't enjoy my time playing this game. But I knew that if I just played this on PC with its easier and more satisfying aiming controls, that I would enjoy it much more. This turned out to be true, as I found myself thoroughly immersed, completing the entire game in just 2 gaming sessions. The addictive shooters constantly thrust you into new and exciting areas, allowing you to unleash calculated badassery on enemies, with standout moments like the iconic airport set piece accompanied by the unforgettable soundtrack Tears by Health. While it might be less appealing to replay due to unskippable cutscenes, for a first playthrough, Max Payne 3 is amazing and easily has the best gameplay out of all the games Rockstar has put out over the years. A game that completely absorbed me into its world was Hellblade. As soon as I started the game, I was intrigued by this world and the protagonist Senua. The game achieves this immersive quality throughout the clever absence of a conventional HUD, transforming the experience into a living, breathing world rather than a traditional game with clear-cut objectives. What truly enhances this immersive atmosphere are the haunting voices that accompany Senua, as she is suffering from psychosis. The ambiguity between reality and imagination is masterfully conveyed through these constant whispers. While playing, you will constantly hear these voices, and this is the reason why you need to play this game with a headset, as this makes it so much more immersive as you hear voices around you. They not only expose Senua's insecurities, but also serve as valuable guides, particularly in combat, where they warn of incoming attacks. So just like Senua, I was paying attention to what the voices were saying, and therefore I was even better able to feel myself connected with her. The puzzles also indicate of how she can find patterns and connections in the world, when in reality there are none, turning her psychosis in gameplay mechanics in an interesting way, just like the voices you hear. Is it perfect? No. The combat can get repetitive as well as for the puzzles, but bringing the game down because of that will be a disservice to all the things that the game does right, which is to accurately depict what it feels like to have a psychosis and do this with an interesting setting and world to explore, making for one of the most unique gaming experience I've had the pleasure of experiencing myself. Easily the most controversial game I have included in this list is The Last of Us Part 2, as whenever someone states that this game is a masterpiece, there are usually 10 more people claiming it is the worst game of all time. The truth is that it is neither. The game is no masterpiece, but it is also not the worst game of all time. Some things feel forced or shoehorned in, and the game could have been a bit shorter, which might be shocking to some as they want to have a game that is as long as possible to get their money out of it. But for me the experience is more important than the time I spent playing. Naughty Dog undeniably crafted a compelling narrative, eliciting emotions I never expected to feel. The game successfully navigated the complexities of human emotions, leading me to sympathize with characters I had previously despised. Any game that can evoke such strong emotions and foster genuine emotional investment stands out from the rest. For me, the thing that resonated with me the most in The Last of Us Part 2 is people being taken from your life without any warning and you having to deal with that fact. As I lost 2 relatives this year, I can't help but feel regret for not telling them what they meant to me before it was too late. The game skillfully conveys these themes, adding a layer of relatability that significantly impacted my gaming experience. For this reason, among others, The Last of Us Part 2 easily earns its place among my favorite games of all time. While it might be slightly cheating since this is not the first time I have played this game, I cannot deny the enjoyment I had, and it's easily the game I played the most this year. Modern Warfare 2 has proven to be just as exhilarating and enjoyable as it was when I first played it back in 2012. Every aspect of the game is executed to perfection. The campaign stands out as the pinnacle of Call of Duty campaigns, offering a level of fun and excitement that made revisiting each mission an absolute delight. Remarkably, even playing on veteran difficulty was less frustrating than when I played it on the Xbox 360, which could be because aiming is easier with the mouse and keyboard, or thanks to my familiarity with the missions. The campaign boasts numerous iconic missions, with No Russian standing out as the most controversial and memorable. After finishing up this excellent campaign, I was ready to delve into Special Ops and get all the stars. I completed all Spec Ops missions solo, aside from the 2 missions that required 2 players, for which I called in the help of my cousin. Following the completion of Spec Ops, I decided to play through all Spec Ops missions with my cousin again for old time's sake, which brought me right back to when we used to religiously play this game on the Xbox 360, bringing back so many memories. And though we often had to retry missions to get those 3 stars, I enjoyed every second of it. Luckily there are still people playing the multiplayer, which allowed me to enjoy this just like before. The multiplayer maps are unique and varied, and I love the chaotic fun of Rust, where you get shot at from all directions, resulting in matches that are over incredibly quickly. Aside from this extremely small map, there are plenty of big maps like Wasteland. Thus there are maps where it's better to play as a sniper, and on others it's better to equip a submachine gun. What made the multiplayer so much more fun compared to the multiplayer of older Call of Duty installments was the added call signs. This alone made the multiplayer so addictive to play, as I wanted to get those sweet and unique emblems and titles to differentiate myself from the rest. This is the final piece of the puzzle that made the multiplayer click for me, as the multiplayer of Modern Warfare 1 and World at War never grabbed me, despite their qualities. But now I had a reason to continue to play, as just leveling up, earning new weapons and having the option to go prestige was not a big enough incentive for me. While I might be blinded by nostalgia, I don't care. Every second I spent in this game was an absolute blast, earning it the well-deserved #1 spot, even though I had already experienced it all before. Selecting the games that will make it to this year's top 10 proved to be a more challenging task compared to previous years. Determining the top 5 was relatively straightforward, but finalizing the 6th to 10th spots posed a greater challenge. While all these games were enjoyable, not all of them reached the same level of excellence as the top 5 standouts. Nonetheless, it has been another fantastic year for gaming, and I eagerly anticipate diving into more captivating titles in 2024. My backlog has expanded with a plethora of new games waiting to be explored, and I'm certain that there are hidden gems among them. What were your favorite games that you played in 2023? And what games do you want to play in 2024? Are you aiming for the latest releases, or are you, like me, diligently working through your ever-growing gaming backlog? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching. Bye bye.